This is a wake up call. Welcome to Wake Up Calls. Today is Wednesday, right? One of the tweaks I made to Wake Up Call is I decided to, you know, make niche down. So my niche for freelance, personally, I freelance in writing, and I do this particularly with my business, Good Books NG, where we write all types of writing as well as sell resources and books and create resources for people, businesses, personal brands, and teams generally. Right, that's what Good Books NG does. So I'm a freelance writer, contract writer under Good Books NG. So what I decided was that for freelance day, which is Wednesday, I decided to focus on freelance writers. So a lot of what I'll be talking about may be applicable to other types of freelancers out there, but I'm particular this year about freelance writers. Our worries, our pains, our trials, things that we could do differently, the things that worry us the most. I remember when trying to create a curriculum of the things that I wanted to share, just off the top of my head, and things I wanted to discuss, some topics that I just wanted to ensure um, I spoke about this year. One in particular jumped out, and I went to put it like below the list, and I was telling my friend like, see, this is something that should come first, but I'm putting it down below because I know I need to do a lot more research and I need to ensure that I'm giving out something that I've practiced myself, so just expect a lot of good stuff. But today in particular, I'm going to talk about the things that you should expect in a contract, right? What should you expect in a written contract um, or in a gig contract for a freelance writer. So you're a freelance writer and you need to drop the contract with a new client, or a client is sending you a contract. What should be included in it? If you're the one creating the contract, you don't have access to a lawyer or legal counsel or legal services. What are things that you have to ensure are there? So I have a sample contract opened up on my laptop right now, while I'm sharing with you, and I'm just going to really pick up on all of those just tidbits so that you have that locked down, and you can reach out to me for more details if you want. So um, one of the things you want to ensure is contract period, to know from what time to what time the time of contract is going to be, how long are you guys going to be working together, you and your client, then scope of services to be provided. You need to niche down to the very letter exactly the services, writing services. Are you going to be measuring in hours? Are you going to be measuring in words? Are you going to be doing just 1,500 words? What are you going to be doing exactly for this client? So ensure you note the scope of services to be provided by you. Freelance writers, of course, revisions. So are you offering one revision, two revisions? How many revisions are you offering? And within what time frame? So for this particular sample, for example, this client is limited to one revision of submitted articles by me within a 12-hour window after the first draft has been sent in. All right. Of contracts, what's going to happen if they bring anything outside the scope of the contract or the scope of services that you've initially offered? What else do I have? Of course, your writer's rate. How much are you going to be charging per article, per hour, per number of words, per 1,000 words? In what currency, and then to what account is that going to be paid in? Also, that payment. Um, do you have a payment schedule? Is it a retainership? You have to look into that. Is it going to be paid? Are you going to have a so sometimes for some clients, I have a 70% to 80% first deposit. Then after the first draft has been sent in, the balance has to be sent in. I have that. I have another one where it's a retainership within, from the 20th to the 28th of every month, that has to be remitted for the work done for that month. There are just so many ways that you can, put in your compensation or your rate. Just have a payment schedule. Really, that's what's important. So find a way to ensure that your compensation is noted. Talk about taxes with your clients. That's important, depending on the country that you're. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in Ghana, if you're in Kenya, if you're in South Africa, if you're in Uganda, Tanzania, you need to know exactly what's going on with the taxes of your organization or of your company, of your country rather, of the region that you're in. And you also have to know if the country or yes, the country where your client's in is a determinant or is going to affect your taxes. That's something you need to discuss with your clients, especially if they're the ones sending you your contracts. All right. Finally, last but not least, you have to focus on intellectual property, the assignments and ownership of intellectual property. You have to discuss this in detail. A lot of times, clients or writers are in a fix where they've written so much for so many clients, but their portfolio is limited because they have NDAs that they've signed. They didn't sign partial NDAs. They signed off total NDAs. Sometimes you don't want credit for your work because even though you work for this client, you want to get paid and at the same time get your name on it. There are just so many variations to it. And this year, I'm really looking forward to us talking a lot about intellectual property and how to manage it and how to ensure that you have that put together. But of course, that's for later. Finally, ensure that the signatures, the name of your client, your name, your signature, your client's signature, because the date that this was signed. Ensure that both of you have copies. I usually just do digital signatures. You can do that with PDF. I think Adobe Acrobat does fantastic work in that regard. You should also be able to use Google Docs. It's such a phenomenal software you can use, and I think that's just going to help you. I hope this video has helped you anyways. If it has, let me know. I hope you be well. I hope you do well. I wish you luck. I wish you excellence, and I wish you good clients on your freelance writing journey. To those.